What's up, everybody? Welcome to Narco Cop MMA, and this is the Lambo Plays podcast. Episode, I know it says 114, but it's 115. I messed that up. UFC 309. We're giving you our favorite props. I'm your host, Mike, along with my co-host, Timothy Troiano. What's up, Timothy? UFC 309 is amongst us after the Tyson Paul great fight yesterday, if you want to call it that. How do you feel about this card?
Oh, what's up, bud? I think it's kind of meh, honestly, for a pay-per-view card. Get to see a couple old dudes in the main, it's a couple legends, but they seem to be long in the tooth. But yeah, interesting to chop it up with you and figure out where's the good spots to get. But yeah, I think it's not that great for a pay-per-view card. I do get to see my favorite fighter, though, Du Bronx. We lost Mike. People. He's good. He's back. You're muted.
I had to close the shade. It was too much light coming in on me. Yeah, I mean the card is okay. I don't think it's a great card. Last week was terrible from a Lambo's perspective, from a betting perspective. But it's a new week.
Yeah, that's why I wore the shirt. That's why I wore the shirt, dude. We need to let that shit go.
Let that shit go, and it only takes one, Tim. It only takes one. With that being said, shout out to everybody in chat. Appreciate you guys. Dixon, what's up, my friend? Elijah, agree with Dixon. We're going to cash big at UFC 309. I love to hear that. Mushroom, what's up, my friend? He's cheating from work. He's watching it from work. I'm going to call in on him. Insert Troiano gift, says Moyes. What is up? DA07 with the old gloves coming back. How many 2-3 plays are we going to have? We will wait and see for that. Tim ends and split over under 4.5, says Blaine. The realist. What a way to start the Saturday. Let's effing go. Yes, sir. Blessings and best luck from Bufu on the beat. How are you doing, my friend? Danny Link. What's up, Narco and Tim? Addicted to combat. 0 more sleeps. What's up, my friend? Joshua Frick. A day late on Lambos, but not a dollar short after Jake Paul. Yep. Appreciate you, my man. Netflix did 9/11. Jussie Q. Seawiz. What's up, my friend? How are you doing? Azure. Thank you, Narco Cop and Tim, for always showing up. Appreciate you as well. Double Flush. The Discord was on fire yesterday. Yes, it was. What's up, my friend? Want to make a bet? UFC 309. Let's effing go. Arturo. Bonjour, my friend. Ted. Made more on Paul last night than I will get on my 40-hour paycheck this week. Once in a lifetime public fade. Now it's Lambo time. Appreciate you as well. Worth it. Let's go, my man. Rashid. What's up, brother? Grant. Jewish Better. What's up, my man? Mark Schillenberg. What's up, everyone? Let's freaking cash in this card. Wacky Iraqi. Stipe winning would be the funniest upset of all time. I doubt that happens. Poetan Du Bronx says Du Bronx. J88, terrible card besides Oliveira and Chandler. Nah, I think there's some decent spots. What's up, God's Master? Peace. Marcus Erickson. What's up, brother? How are you doing? The Untold. I'm still hurt by that Serrano decision. That was brutal yesterday. Jason Dorkeys, I'm curious, when's the last time a Lambo hit? Like a Lambo parlay or just a Lambo play? Or he's just being a hater. Who knows? But he's in here. He's watching. So I appreciate the support. Combat Cash. Let's go. Excited for Lambos today. Black them. Nice cash yesterday. Made some money. Thank you, my friend. Kyle Larson. Let's go. Not in the AM. Over under 5 eye pokes. You mean between him and Weidman? Definitely over. Pino Drip going in and out. Is my thing going in and out, or is he mean he's going in and out? Hopefully it's not me. What's up, my friend? E-Combo, what's up? What's good, my friend? Oh, come on. Stipe's not getting any upset today. Luis, do you play something on Netflix? Socrates, caught a live show. What's up, my friend? JD Films, dialed in. Playing for real. Let's go, boys. Yeah, with that being said, 188 of you in here. Tim, let's start off. with the first fight of the night. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 9-4-1 Veronica Hardy versus the 10-1 Eduarda Mora. This line has absolutely steamed in favor of Mora. She is now the favorite. We're looking at minus 125 on some books, and the comeback on. Oh, I'm sorry. No, she's minus 112. It's basically even money now. That how I see it. But a lot of money came in on Mora because she was plus 125 yesterday. So, yeah. What do you see here? Where's your Lambo play here? I had a hard time with this one.
Yeah, I actually agree with the late steam. I think this should be a 50-50 fight, maybe even more a slight favorite to start the fight. I think it was a buy low, sell high situation. I think the last few fights with Hardy, she's fought over expectation, and I think Mora's coming off a really bad performance where she death gas trying to get Gomes down. I think Gomes is a tougher fight. Mora up a weight class. I feel like she's probably in a better weight class now. Doesn't have to worry about cutting. She missed weight twice. Physical, going to go for takedowns. Good when she gets on top. Striking is a major work in progress for her. I feel like Hardy is going to have the striking advantage, but she also tires out too later in fights. So to me, I think it's going to be a situation of if Mora can get her down, twice, it's going to be probably, could be the fight, might be able to tap her out, might be able to just keep her down and lay on, get some top time. But I like in this fight, I like end split at plus 400. And then I like Hardy ends by sub at plus 400. And then Hardy by sub at plus 1800. Hardy by sub and 2 is 4,500. Subs 3 is 60 to 1.
Yeah, I didn't like much on this fight. But Veronica Hardy by sub just feels off. It's plus 2,300. It's just too big of a line, man. Like she will, if it hits the mat, which it's possible, right? And Mora's going to try to grapple. Like she goes for arm bars. She's pretty good at them. She's good at attacking those subs. Not saying she's going to sub her, but 23 to 1 is like huge, and
where is that line?
FanDuel.
Oh man.
It's a huge line, and it probably might not happen, but it's just way too big. And I took a poke on it. I don't mind 23 to 1 here. I see the fight kind of. The problem for Mora is it's a big cage, and tracking Hardy down is going to be a problem. She has very good footwork. I do kind of disagree with you with the Gomes. You're saying Gomes was a harder fight. I don't think so. I don't think so in the sense that Gomes is very easy to track. She's very easy to get a hold of because she's over swinging. She doesn't really have footwork like that, Gomes. She's basically a plotter that comes forward and tries to throw big shots. Hardy is more of a skirter. She's kicking. She's running. She's circling. She's a lot better of a mover. So I think Mora might have a harder time tracking her. She wants to get a hold of her, and I think that's where she might have trouble. I do think Mora probably is better off at this weight class because she can't really make weight at 115. So 125 probably is better for her. Now, if she gets on top, she is pretty mean. She does go for ground and pound. She does go for submission. So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm kind of tempted to play Hardy, be honest, at this price. I just think she's going to have a very, very hard time tracking her. That's where I think Mora is going to have trouble, but I'm probably eventually going to pass. It's just kind of a striker versus grappler, and whoever wins that battle, whoever gets it to where they need it to be is going to win the fight, right? It's just a matter of if you think Mora is going to get this fight to the ground, maybe 2 or 3 times, she's probably going to win. And if she doesn't,
you got to imagine too that Hardy, like with Dan Hardy, being as smart as he is, game planning, like, dude, they had to have been training guillotines like hardcore in this fight. After how close it Gomes got on it twice.
Yeah, but why would you? I think I get maybe you're training guillotines, but why would you even? You don't want to attempt guillotines when she's going for that. You want to just kind of like get away, do the right things, and defend takedowns.
But that's I'm not saying like that was basically what Gomes did a lot of times to defend it. Like she did it and she
Yeah,
got her
but
in
she got to
trouble.
move her though. That's the problem, Tim. She doesn't move. Gomes really goes hardcore for subs. She does. That's her thing. But yeah, I mean, I get it. She probably worked on it. I'm not saying she didn't. But I don't think she wants to be on her back here. I think that would be a mistake, her being on her back. So, anyways, let's move on here. Fight number 2. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 11-2 Oban Elliott versus the 9-4-1 Basil Hafez. And this is another one, line steaming, man. Minus 305. Oban Elliott. Kind of an eye opener. I don't agree with the line movement. I don't think this guy should be 3-1 favorite here. And reasoning is like his chin is good, but he gets hurt and dropped in a lot of fights. His striking is good. He's got decent volume, good cardio. And he's got good anti-wrestling, right? We saw it against Parsons. He did well there, stuffing takedowns. But Parsons, honestly, striking wise, doesn't really have much power, is not very dangerous on the feet. So it's like Oban Elliott had nothing to worry about outside of just the takedowns, right? So kind of stuffed those. Basil Hafez, I don't think he's the best striker either, but he's got a ton more power than Parsons. He switches stances and throws huge, huge shots. We saw him absolutely going to war against Jack Della in that fight. Like trading on the fence was crazy. The shots that he took from Jack Della was crazy. I think this fight's a lot closer than this line indicates, to be honest. I think the harder shots are probably going to come from Hafez. I do think I was honestly eyeing the KO because I think it's a little too big, and Hafez only has one KO, but he throws very hard. He has power. It's 12-1. It's kind of huge, but I'm going with split decision here, plus 330, and Hafez by split is 14-1. I just think this fight is way closer than this line indicates. And if you look at Hafez, Tim, historically, in his 14 fights, 4 of them have gone to split decision. That should tell you something about this guy. So it's a high percentage for split in that many fights. So yeah, I'm gonna take a shot here. I don't think Oban can finish Hafez. Hafez seems to have a very, very good chin, extremely durable guy. So I think split here, plus 330. Hafez by split 1,400 is where I'm going.
Yeah, I'm not going to add very much. Yeah, sorry about my voice, guys. I've been sick since last Thursday, so doing my best. Yeah, I have the same thing. I'm not going to be an echo chamber. I feel like Hafez split, Hafez points, and split, all kind of good lines to me. Just probably think it loses, but it's most likely a Oban decision. But the lines are too good. 14-1, plus almost 500 for points. Just 330 is not bad for an end split in a fight like this. Actually, it is bad, but we'll still put it out there. Yeah, I mean, I agree with pretty much everything you said. I think there's more wrestling potential here for Hafez, and I think that the bigger shots could swing around. If he could even like drop him in a round and maybe steal a round that way too after he's been losing the round.
He definitely can drop him. I mean, this guy gets dropped by a lot of people. I mean, Val Woodburn dropped him. I think Hafez throws just as hard, if not harder than him, and he throws with everything.
Yeah, massive line over correction again. Like just Oban goes from being a dog to Preston, and now he's minus 300 here.
I talked about that. How do you go from bringing plus 160 to a minus 300 here? Like, this doesn't make sense. Let's move on. Fight number 3. It is in the welterweight division. It is the 7-6 Mickey Gall versus the 10-5 Ramiz Brahima. And this one's yours.
This fight is a fight. So yeah, I mean, I think both these guys have been fades for me. Enjoy making money betting against these guys. To me, it's basically like which one of these fighters is more reliable to not totally shit the bed. And I feel like that's Mickey Gall. I feel like he's better striking. You can rely on him to throw strikes. You can rely on him to fight through adversity. Better cardio, even though it's not great, but it's better than Brahimaj. And I mean, Brahimaj, you just don't know outside of the first 5 minutes what the hell this guy's going to do. Like he's thrown like 3 strikes, and he landed 3 strikes in his last fight. Off of his back, he's absolutely terrible. He just seems to be a good hammer and a horrible nail, and he's only a good hammer for 5 minutes. So give me I think I like Gall like by submission and submission 2-3. I think it's gonna be tough to knock out Brahimaj. I actually lean that it's probably gonna be a decision for Gall, but I'm banking on him if he can get top time against him. I'm not sure that he will be able to in the second or third, but if he can get top time, I'm assuming that he's going to be having better jiu-jitsu on top than what Temba Garimbo was doing. I thought in the fight with Temba that Temba had opportunities to advance position, but he just wasn't doing anything. So yeah, I like Gall sub 2-3 plus 460 plus 1600 plus 2000. I think that the difference in jiu-jitsu with these guys is actually pretty big. I think people like overrate Brahimaj's jiu-jitsu. He's like won competitions in jiu-jitsu at like blue belt level. It's not like this dude's like a black belt, and Mickey Gall is. So yeah, give me him by sub.
Yeah, I mean, I was looking at that, and the only thing with Mickey Gall is like he seems to only have like every one of his subs is RNC. And I just don't know. Like Mickey Gall's wrestling is not very good. I just don't think he can like for instance, Themba has much better grappling wrestling than Gall. So that's why he was able to get on top a lot, out hustle Brahimaj. I don't think Gall has that. Um, Maybe I'm wrong, but I think both guys are good submission grapplers. I have a hard time seeing a sub from either guy. I think this fight goes to decision, to be honest. That's how I feel. Plus 205, Mickey Gall by decision. I just think he wins round 3 at a decent clip. And Brahimaj is just way too low volume. We saw it with Mickey Gall last fight. He throws decent volume, showing very good cardio, is improving a lot. So I'm going to take the plus 205. It's a used Toyota Corolla on Mickey Gall. I think he wins this 29-28, maybe even 30-27 for Mickey Gall here. So, yeah, Mickey Gall decision for me. Not much else to add. Moving on. Fight number 4. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 25-9 Marcin Tybura versus the 8-0 Johanata Diniz. And this line has come in as well, man. Johanata was up to like plus 125, 126. Now in some places he's minus 106 on Bet Rivers. He's plus 100, plus 105 is the best looking price out there right now. So a lot of money has come in on Diniz here. Tim, it's my turn actually. Yeah, I mean, this fight is very, very binary fight. Like if it's standing, I do favor Diniz. If it hits the ground, I favor Tybura in a big way. So on the feet, I favor Diniz, but I don't think it's like a complete like blowout. Because Tybura does some decent things on the feet. Like he'll switch stances, he'll kick, he'll do those things, he'll work a little bit more. So I don't think it's a blowout on the feet, but on the ground, it's a complete blowout for Tybura. So it's a matter of what you think happens in this fight, and what I think happens honestly is I don't think Tybura is going to have much success getting takedowns. But I think also Denise is going to be kind of reluctant to throw very hard. He's going to be probably bouncing on his toes, moving around, kicking. Um, I'm taking Denise by decision, man. Plus 800. Um, it's just I kind of feel like he's going to be cautious here, so he doesn't get caught or stuck on the fence and get because Tybura at the end of the day he needs a body lock takedown. That's how he gets them, and he needs to trap um the knees up against the fence or something. It's hard for me to bet this fight just from the sense that like if it's standing, I don't think Tybura is winning this fight. But if it hits the mat, I don't think Denise is winning this fight. So it's like I get to pick him. I just don't know if one is going to have success, and that's Tybura. I don't know if he's going to get the fight to the ground. So with that being said, I'm going to take a shot. Denise a decision at plus 800. Small bet, a little sprinkle. What do you like?
I also like Denise by decision as well for the exact same reasons. Big cage. Tybura's on short notice. I do feel like it is a completely binary fight, like you said. Tybura, I mean, I think it could be like one takedown, and unlike Lane fighting him, I think if he gets the takedown like Lane and he gets any bid position, he's going to finish. He's way more dangerous on top than Lane is. But I do agree that it's going to be hard to get him down. I feel like the takedowns Carl Williams didn't go for takedowns on him until the third round, but like when he did, his wrestling is better than Tybura's, and he chain wrestles. So I don't feel like Tybura's style is to try to get the takedown and try to get the body lock, and if he doesn't, then he kind of pushes away and then tries to get it again. It's not chaining takedowns together. It's not failing and then going single leg again, going back through the same rinse and repeat process that you'll see guys that are better wrestlers that do that. So yeah, I mean, big cage, I think he will probably try to avoid the firefight. I also think that like the Volkov fight for me is like similar to this, where it's just like, just stay at range and just try to just jab and not allow him to get into a position to take you down. So yeah, I like Denise by points as well.
Yeah, and like the Volkov fight, like I also think Denise is a little bit more. He's got better footwork than Volkov. Volkov's a little bit more of a plotter. He's big, heavy. But Denise will probably be able to move a little bit better and not get stuck. Like Volkov got stuck on the fence a lot, but he's just so damn big. Tybura couldn't get him down. But yeah, a pretty binary fight. Let's move on. Fight number 5. Actually, somebody had a question. Let me answer their question. I think I put it up. Do you guys think short notice plays a role in this fight for Tybura? Not so much, to be honest. Just because Denise is not like a high-paced fighter. His cardio is iffy as well. When you watch round 3 of Carl Williams, that looked horrible once he got him down. Like he was death gassed, and so I don't really think short notice is going to play a huge role here. Like it's a binary fight. Like unless Tybura is completely out of shape, which he didn't look like. I mean, I think he weighed close to what he normally weighs. So he's a bit older. Obviously, he's going to be a little bit slower than Denise, but I don't know. Like Denise just doesn't rub me as a guy that's a one-punch KO artist. Like he just doesn't. He has a good left hook. He's got good calf kicks, but I don't know. I just don't feel like this guy's a huge hitter for heavyweight. Let's move on. Featherweight division. It is the 8-3-1 Roberto Romero versus the 12-2 David Onama. Tim, it's yours.
I'm not going to be big on this one. I only taped one fight of, Ramirez, and I don't really like the guy's style very much. I think like he's just kind of like a Homer Simpson type fighter. Really like drag you down, delay fights. It was like boring, the fight that I saw. I think Onama's just going to nuke this guy in round 1 or round 2. So KO 1 plus 225, KO 2 plus 450. I think it's going to be similar to the Zaleski DeSantos Scroggins fight last week.
Yeah, I'm going. So, okay, Roberto Romero, he loves to kick. He loves to cage push. He's trying to grapple. He's not a very good wrestler, but he tries to go for a lot of takedowns. He cage pushes a ton. I taped like 4 or 5 of his fights. In the beginning of his career, like when he first started, he was striking a shit ton, like just striking, not. And then lately, the last 4 or 5 fights, just absolutely cage pushing and kicking and trying to get the fight to the mat all the time. And almost every fight that I watched, he's just trying to get it down, and like I said, he's not a great wrestler. And I'm assuming he's going to want to take this fight to the ground against Onama because Onama's going to just be is faster, more powerful, bigger, you name it, right? He's not going to want to stand with Onama. He's going to get cracked there. So with that being said, I'm going with the Onama sub and sub 2-3, Tim. I think this guy, Romero is just going to try to grapple, and he's going to get himself caught in something. He's never been sub, but he's not faced really good grapplers at all, and now he faces a guy in Onama. Not saying that he's a great grappler, but he's very opportunistic, and if you give him that shot, like when you try to grapple him and he does the anti-grappling and he ends up on top, he might get an arm triangle, he might get he might darce you, he might do something like that. So yeah, sub is like 3 something, but sub 2-3 is on 800. I think it happens like a little bit later. Like Romero probably is okay when he's fresh early, but this is very, very short notice. And I also noticed that when he's not getting the takedowns and stuff, he's getting extremely tired. The Patrick Lehane fight, he was like dead tired in round 3. So I do think Onama probably gets him out of there in 2-3. I'm going sub just because those lines are like horrific for 2-3, but I think he gets him out of there. Moving on, fight number 6. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 37-18 Jim Miller versus the 23-7-1 Damon Jackson, moving up to 155, and I will kick this one off. Like Damon Jackson's gonna go for takedowns. This line's, by the way, steamed like crazy. It's up to 205 on Damon Jackson. I don't think that's accurate. I think that's a little bit too big now. I do, however, think he wins this fight. But the problem is, I just don't think it's going to be that easy. And Jim Miller's a veteran. Like, I don't think he's getting subbed by Damon Jackson. I think the better guy on the feet is Jim Miller. He's got more power. I think he's better. And, Damon Jackson's moving up to 55. It might be better for him at this point of his career. But Jim Miller by decision is just like calling my name, man. It's like plus 550. I know I was looking at his history and it's like, I think he's lost like 6 straight decisions or 7 straight decisions. Jim Miller, he's only 10-13, but lately he's been like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Sorry, 8 straight decision losses for this guy. So it's not a great tell of, because of the line I'm taking, but it's not like fucking Damon Jackson, some killer. He's 1-3, or sorry, he's 1-2 in his last 3 decisions, and one of them was a split against Alex Hernandez. So it's not like he's like just running away with fights. So yeah, I'm just a little poke on Miller decision 550. I think it's a bit too big. I have fight goes to decision here at like minus 106. I got it earlier. I think that's a good look here. I feel like 2 veterans, 2 guys that know how to survive. Probably going to be some grappling, and if Jackson gets on top, like Miller just closes his guard for the most part. So, yeah, I'm going to go with that. What do you have here, Tim? Tim is talking to himself. He's giving a breakdown,
There,
guys, of
there you
this
go.
fight.
There you go. There you go. Sorry about that. Rookie mistake. Um, yeah, I feel like I've got like I've got a similar like read as you do with the Miller points and Miller split and end split. The only thing that I think that might obviously I think there's a more likely chance that Damon can get him down, like you're saying, and win a decision. But like, I also think that the Miller KO one at a 10-1 isn't bad too. I mean, like, he can crack, especially in the first like 5 minutes, even 6 or 7 minutes. He can crack really hard, and if he connects on Damon, we've seen Damon just melt. So I do think that that's also live, but just if I was going to pick, if I'm going to have to pick one between the Miller KO one and the end split and Miller split, Miller points, I would just do the trifecta again with that. I just think that the end split is a good line, plus 450. Miller split is plus 1400, and like you said, Miller points is a pretty good line at 550 in a fight that's line to go to decision.
But look at, I do want to kind of like push back on the Damon Jackson melting, but look at who's knocking him out, man.
For sure.
Like, it is absolutely like Topuria, Ige, and the jumping knee from Movla. Like, I mean, like, I just don't think Miller carries the power to kill him. I know he's had some knockouts of late, but Miller historically just has never ever been a knockout guy. I mean, lately he's got a couple of knockouts, but like the guys have been fucking horrific that he's knocking out too. You know, I don't know. I guess it's worth a poke. It's whatever he throws. He's gonna throw hard early. I do think though Jackson's tough, man. He took an absolute ass whipping from fucking Chepe in the last fight.
Yeah, both these guys. I mean, that's a big point. And both these guys came off of like life-altering fights. Their last fights,
bad beatings. Both guys came off bad beatings. I agree on that. Bobby Green absolutely put it on Jim Miller, and Damon Jackson. I mean, he was getting beat to a pulp. I'm still pissed. I had 2-3 on fucking Chepe.
So did I. Yeah, that was the worst.
And I didn't get that, and it should have been stopped, honestly, multiple times. All right, let's move on. Fight number 7. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 16-7 Chris Weidman versus the 16-8 Eric Anders, and you have the pleasure of having the retirement fight.
This fight, again, is a fight. Get two guys that are going to go out and fight in an octagon. So that's all I got for you guys. From a breakdown perspective, bunch of cage pushing. Feel like Anders is low volume, physical. Again, cage push. I think he's gonna struggle to get the cage push in this situation versus Weidman. He's gonna struggle to wrestle him. I think both are kind of low volume and slow on the feet, and this is just reeks of end split at plus 330 for me. It's probably going to be a Weidman split, but I also don't hate the point deduction. I don't usually do those, but if I do a point deduction, I also do the draw always. So I think I rarely, like I said, I rarely do these, but after Weidman's last fight, I could see either one of these guys grabbing the cage in a cage put situation or in a takedown situation. I could definitely see an eye poke again. And with no penalties last time, I think they might be a little bit harsher on Weidman if he's the one that's poking. So end split plus 330, point deduction at 20-1, draw at 50-1.
Yeah, I'm just going to go end split. You could get 350, by the way, on MGM. I'm just going to go split. I think it's going to be a little bit of a cage pushy, low volume striking affair, possibly. Some cage pushing. They're going to probably try to wrestle here and there. I'm not so sure who's going to win the wrestling. I mean, Anders has okay wrestling. Obviously, Weidman, we know he's a credentialed wrestler. But, we saw, I don't know when it was, maybe a couple of years ago or whatever, against the Russian dude that was in PFL. Forgot his name. God, what's his name? Oh, Akhmedov. Get him down multiple times in that fight. So I don't think like Anders can't get him down. Like I'm pretty sure he can. If he gets like his hands locked and stuff, he could probably get him down. I just jujitsu wise, I don't think Anders has the better jujitsu. It's probably leaning towards Weidman. I think it's close. I don't think either guy is like substantially better on the ground. Um, so I just feel like when it's standing, I probably favor Anders a little bit because I think he has more pop in his punches and just has probably better legs here, based on what I've seen from Weidman. His legs are kind of shot. But then, on the ground, I think it's kind of close. That's the thing. I do favor Weidman a little bit, but like, dude, the guy's not really wrestling well lately. He's not, he just doesn't have the knees to wrestle and get takedowns like he once had. And so that's why I just feel like it's kind of splitish fight, man. Wherever it goes, I don't think either guy blows the other one away. So the other thing is like listening to Anders saying how he wants to retire and he's got 2 fights on his contract and he's done after that. He already implanted that in his head. He's like, I have 2 more fights. I'm done after that. He's retired. And I've been hearing this before with Anders. He's mentioned retirement before. He's apparently he's well off already. He's got businesses or whatever, so he doesn't really care. He's not really in the best training environment anymore. He's just kind of like riding off in the sunset. And his Pickett fight, he didn't look good. I don't even think Weidman looked good in his win against Silva. So both guys are kind of towards the end of their careers, and it's kind of a crapshoot type of fight, and that's why it's almost that pick'em. I don't think you should be planting your flag on this fight. If you're like wise in the betting realm, like I just don't think this is a fight that you want to attack. Like, who knows what the hell is going to happen here? 2 guys that are pretty washed, that are probably going to retire soon, and you're picking who's the least washed one. It's hard to tell. So yeah, let's move on. Fight number 8. It is in the bantamweight division. It is the 19-5 Jonathan Martinez versus the 9-1 Marcus McGee. Great fight here. Big step up for McGee. He has gone down in some places to minus 121. A lot of money coming in on Jonathan Martinez. I understand it. He's the veteran guy. He's faced a much better level of opposition. This is a big step up. But I like the McGee side here. I think he's more power, better hands, better footwork. Might even have some takedown upside. Not to say that he will control Martinez, but I just think he's more athletic. He's faster. He's more powerful. He throws all of his strikes in combination, which is really good. I hate the high guard shelling style of Martinez when somebody throws punches at him. He just like kind of guards like this. And when a guy's throwing 3, 4, 5 punches, one might sneak through, and not to mention when you start doing this and the guy's throwing punches, takedown is there. Boom. Like, and McGee does that. He'll throw punches into a takedown. And I think he can land a takedown here. I do think Martinez is tough. I don't think he's like some guy, I've heard like chin stuff. I don't think so. Like Aldo landed some huge shots on him, and Aldo has power. And the guy is tough. He's not just going to give up. He's a veteran. I know Davey Grant knocked him out, but the guy does have a pretty decent chin. I don't think it's bad. And then Marcus McGee, obviously, he has literally finished everyone in his wins. But this is the biggest step up again, and he's going to have to kind of pick his shots correctly. Be careful with the leg kicks, because Martinez has nasty leg kicks. So with that being said, McGee decision is plus 310. I was actually shocked to see that. I didn't think it was going to be that big, but I guess they're, when you look at the lines, they're I feel like they're overrating the KO at 245. I think that's too high, or it just should be higher. I think that's maybe where the decision line should be, like 230, and then the KO should be 310. So I went with the decision here on Marcus McGee. I think he wins it pretty cleanly, in my opinion. Um, yeah, plus 310 is where I'm going here.
Yeah, the only thing that I would disagree with is I don't know that it's going to be like super clean. Like I think it could be a little bit closer from a decision standpoint. I think that there's going to be. I think that it's hard to not get kicked by Martinez. Like he's going to get his game off. Like whether or not he's super successful in breaking your leg or being able to completely compromise your movement, that's in question. But I feel like the kicks are going to be there, and I think like also I think he's underrated in the clinch, Martinez. So I think like if they do get in the clinch, I think Martinez is pretty solid in the clinch. Good takedown defense. I think probably the fight does stay standing for 15 minutes. So yeah, I'm with you though. I like the McGee points, McGee split, and then the end split. So the trifecta again, like the end split is plus 450 in this fight. I think that's a really good line. And I like the McGee points is like you said, when you said 230, I was actually expecting like plus 200, plus 220, something like that on this for his. I thought that their KO line for him was a little bit. It's just baked into like his finishes over guys that are just absolute scrubs. I'm not saying like that's his fault who he's fighting, but KOing JP Buys and Journey Newsom is not really the best, or subbing Journey Newsom is not the best way to go for a finish. So yeah, end split, McGee points and McGee split.
All right. By the way, I do want to say someone mentioned old gloves for sure. Yeah, that's something to look at. The old gloves are back. Probably more KOs. Right about that for sure. But yeah, I'm just looking at the matchup in whole, and I just think J Mart is a veteran. He's had a lot of fights. He's gonna know how to kind of navigate in this fight and not like get into huge exchanges with McGee, and kind of be more defensive minded. So that's why I kind of like McGee. I think he extends him more here, and yeah. All right, let's move on, Tim. Fight number 9. It is in the lightweight division. It is the 10-1 Mauricio Rufy versus the 14-4 James Ilian Top, or Lollipop, or whatever you want to call him.
Yeah, this fight has changed a lot. I think the missing weight for Jan Top and didn't look too good on the scales. I think like the Rufy fade is going to have to wait for another fight. We're going to get this guy at some point. Hopefully they keep hanging these just gigantic lines on this guy because he's the Brazilian Conor McGregor and all that jazz. And oh my God, the fighting nerds never take losses ever. So let's just juice up their lines, have the fighting nerd tax be plus 80% what it should be. So yeah, I think Rufy should kill him in this fight now. I was laughing my ass up before all the Jan Top stuff like came in, like watching him have struggles and with the weight miss and all that stuff, like are changing the weight. Like I was thinking like, okay, maybe this could be really a good spot on Rufy by decision. And then I looked at the line and it's like plus 200. Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, what are you talking? I was expecting like 5-1. Like, this guy's never been a decision. I was thinking maybe we could get something there. So yeah, I'm going to go with Rufy round 2 plus 400, Rufy round 3 plus 600. I'm not going to bet this fight though.
All right. Well, I originally had a bet on Ilian Top because plus 600, I just thought this line was crazy. Watching Rufy, he's a low volume striker. He kicks, he's got decent kicks. He's got a very good pullback right hand counter. He's a little bit flashy with his striking, but he's got a lot of flaws, man. And one of them being that he keeps his hands low a lot. He keeps his hands low. I posted a clip on Twitter where he got knocked down against this 13-7, 13-8 guy. And it's a terrible look when you're getting dropped that bad by that dude. You know, that guy is not a good fighter. He's gotten dropped. Like, I mean, the way he got dropped was terrible. The fight that he gets knocked out in, and Sosa is a very good fighter, the guy that knocked him out. But he does the same exact thing. He's like circling out. His hands are fucking down to his legs, and he gets fucking finished there bad with a left hook. And so, you know, this stuff is going to catch up to you in the UFC. You're not going to get away with this kind of stuff, you know, leaving your hands low, thinking you're like, you know, no one can land on you. And the other thing is, apparently his chin is not great because he got knocked out very bad in that one fight. He got dropped against this 13-8 guy, and he got hurt also in another fight that I watched. I forgot the dude's name, Brazilian guy. He got hurt bad in that fight. So it's like, I don't think his chin is like really great, this dude. And he's fighting like he can take every punch, which is not accurate. You know, Dana White's Contender Series, he's down 2-0 in 2 scorecards. Finds a finish in round 3, props to him. But the finish mainly comes because, you know, the Dagestani guy just goes for a failed takedown, completely gassed, falls on his back, and the fight's over. You know, this guy gets on top of him, and the guy can't defend himself because he's so tired. Ilian Top, I think his striking is okay. Defensively, he's not good, but he throws a lot of volume. He switches stances. He has very, very good leg kicks, very good body kicks. We see him compete for 15 minutes against Borishev, who's a high-level striker on the feet. K1, like, striking instructor. This guy's a really good striker, and he competed for 15 minutes against him. And now he comes in. They ask for this catch weight of 165, and the dude can't even make 165. Looks like a tub of goo on the scales. And then, dude, he can barely walk. Like, I'm watching him walk coming up to the scales, and he's just like limping or something. And he's barely coming down the stairs when he gets off the stage. He's barely walking down. I'm like, man, this he's compromised of some sort. Like, it just doesn't make sense. You can't make 160. You come in trying to cut to 55. You ask for 65. You don't make 65. And you look like absolute dog shit trying to walk on the stage. Like, I'm like, okay, this guy's not winning this fight. He didn't come here to win. He came to collect a paycheck, it looks like. So, you know, I can't back this guy anymore. Like, there's no way I can back him. You know, he looked awful. He didn't look like he trained for this fight. And with that being said, Tim, I do have my whisper bet of the week, though. And when I listened to this guy talk at the media day, he's like, hey, we've been working on a game plan here. This is Ilian Top 2.0. And I'm going to show a different game because my grappling is really good, he says. So apparently their game plan is to grapple here. And I think that's going to go very, very bad for him if he grapples. Roofy doesn't have any submission, guys, but there's always a first. And Roofy by submission is 13-1. Roofy submission 2-3 is astronomical. So my whisper bet of the week, Tim, is Mauricio Roofy by submission rounds 2 and 3. They are huge numbers. Look around. You can get anywhere from I'm seeing 4,000 and 5,000. There's some other books I've seen you can get even like 6,500 on round 3 sub. I just think if this guy fucking grapples, he's gonna get subbed. He's not a good grappler, so I don't see where this newfound shit in his head is that he can grapple Roofy. And Roofy's not easy to take down either. He's got great takedown defense. Yeah, I think Ilian Top is tough to knock out. He's a tough guy. He's not easy to knock out, but I think he can get subbed here. And if he decides to go with that game plan, I think a sub is in the books, man. It might happen. Moving on.
Damn it, you're gonna make me bet this fight, Narco. I was trying to get out. It's like It's like Godfather 3. I try to get out, you pull me back in. So
when I listen to the interview say that, and it's just not. Ilian Top's not a good grappler. I've watched him in regional tape. He sucks.
You're reminding me of my classic Peruvian BJJ fade. Like anybody that fights a Peruvian, I'm like, are they a grappler at all?
I mean, did you see how easy this guy got to his back and submitted him? Like
100%.
He didn't even know what was going on. It's like
the guy got to his
back, like, oh, here's my neck, and he just subbed him. I'm like, what the fuck was that? What kind of defense is that? Didn't try to fight hands, nothing. Tap.
No, he literally stretched like a giraffe. His neck was like a giraffe.
It was crazy.
Yeah.
So if he decides to grapple, he might stick his neck in there. I don't know, but Rufy, yes, he doesn't have any subs, but dude, they're at the Fighting Nerds. You know for a damn fact these guys grapple a lot. They just do.
For sure.
They grapple in there. They know how to grapple. So, I'm not sure if this guy's a black belt, a purple belt, what. Maybe other people have info on what kind of
game plans. Good game plans too from them typically. Like they got.
Would you be shocked if he went for takedowns? Yeah, I kind of wouldn't be.
Honestly. I wouldn't be. That's what I'm saying. Like I wouldn't. The game plan. If you're looking at it like, do I want to give the on top his win condition? Like his win condition is to bonk him. Like that's basically it. Yeah. I agree.
All right. Let's move on. Fight number 10. It is in the flyweight division. It is the 18-4 Carini Silva versus 12-6 Viviane Araújo. And I will kick this one off. Line is absolutely getting smoked. It's mind-boggling to me that people are betting Carini Silva at -315 and -300 and -290. Like, why? Why? This girl has good finishing upside early, but she fades late in fights, guys, a lot. Round 3 against Lipski, she looked awful. She got a takedown late, but she looked awful. The minute Lipski got up, she was running away, and Lipski was landing on her. And, she got Lipski down multiple times, but a lot of times she couldn't control Lipski. Lipski got back up. And I think that alone is a bad sign because what happened last fight with Lipski against the Canadian girl?
Just a vicious.
What did she do to her when she got her down? She had no fucking chance of getting up, like zero. She blanketed her. She did whatever she wanted to her. And Carini Silva couldn't do that to her. So to me, that tells me that, like, yeah, Carini Silva is dangerous. She's strong. But when the level of competition goes up, I don't think it's all that good. And she's beaten nobodies, honestly, right now. She's beaten nobodies. And, in her fight, Dana White's Contender Series, she was on her back the whole fucking time when she was taken down. She found a sub, but the look wasn't great against that girl. And then when you look further in her regional fights against, Deanne Barbosa, she was getting taken down easy in that fight and just laid on her back. And she's attacking heel hooks and knee bars and all types of bullshit, submissions. And she's not really smart, man. Her fight IQ is not good. And Araújo's fought really good girls. She's competed really good against these girls. I think Araújo can get top time here, man. And what people fail to realize is that Araújo is a high-level black belt. Like, she's very fucking good on the ground. Only one of these girls, of these two girls, has been submitted twice. And that's not Araújo, that's Silva. So, I mean, these lines, I'm looking at these sub lines, and it's like, oh, this is almost a guarantee she's going to sub her. It's like plus 300, 350 on sub on Silva, and I just don't get it. Like, I just don't get it. I just think Araújo here, and this is another, you can call it a whisper bet, you can call it whatever you want, but Araújo 2-3 is live here, man. If she's stuffing takedowns or if she's working her, like getting takedowns herself, I think she's going to melt this girl in round 2 and 3. And it's, it's 3,000 and 4,000 on Hard Rock. Freaking crazy numbers. I think she has the better cardio. She's the girl that's been 5 rounds against Grasso, the former champion. It's a girl that's competed and won rounds against Natalia Silva. Natalia Silva's a very, very good fighter. And she has hands, and this are usually, this Silva chick, her hands are just not there, in my opinion. She's throwing big loopy shots, mostly kicking. She doesn't really throw on the feet, and our usual throws, and she has power on the feet. So this line is mind-boggling. I have 2 units already on our usual at like plus 230. And if this line keeps climbing, I might add again, because I'm not as high as other people are on this Silva chick. I'm just not. Her cardio doesn't check out. Her IQ doesn't check out. Her striking is not all that good. All she has is physicality and grappling. And I'm not so sure, honestly, I'm not so sure physicality is going to work a lot for her here. So, yeah, our usual 2-3 here, it's 3,000, 4,000. I wouldn't be surprised, honestly, if our usual got on top and she subbed her. I would not be shocked. But yeah, Tim, it's yours. Guys, Tim is breaking it down by himself again.
I look at this fight and I go, I'm laughing because I had, I said, don't bet Silva sub. I do, if you bet Silva sub, just bet N by sub. It's like plus 300 versus plus 350. I'm just going to read what I have off. I have a lot of Vivi, but I said Vivi sub round 2, round 3, sub 2, sub 3, and split for Vivi, points for Vivi, split for Vivi. I'm like, so it's all basically on the Vivi side. Like, and I've been, you know me, dude. I've been I've backed Silva every single fight, since Dana White Contender Series when she fought that man Yan Kiwi, and she got taken down by that dude, and she was gassing hard in that fight. There was grappling back and forth. She was majorly gassing in that fight, and then she pulled the guillotine and got an absolute ass pull there. I feel like the same thing. I feel like it's similar. It's not as big of a line, market overcorrection as the Hardy and Mora, but I think this is a classic overcorrection on the market. Just this fighter is stepping up, biggest step up in competition for her so far. Araujo, this is maybe one of minus, I think Andrea Lee I think would probably be a little bit lower level, but not at her peak. But I feel like it's definitely a step down for who Araujo is usually fighting, is my point. And I don't know, man. I just, whether or not I'm going back and forth with the dude. I'm going to bet the 2-3, and I'm going to bet the sub 2-3 as well. But I just feel like the more likely thing that happens is that Vivi wins a decision, and it's maybe a split decision for her. So I'll take the end split, Vivi points, Vivi split at plus 340, plus 900, and plus 330. But I'm absolutely going to be betting the other side. I'm going to be betting the 2-3 in the sub.
I'll tell you guys one thing about this, because I feel kind of passionate about this take here. Karine Silva, if you look at her UFC fights, sub round 1, sub round 1, sub round 1, all of them early, all of them in round 1, right? And she, in every one of those fights, she got a takedown, pretty easily, got a takedown. The Lipsky fight, she got a takedown, a couple of takedowns early, pretty easily. I want to see, Tim, when she's not able to get a takedown and they're stuffed and she's struggling to get a takedown, her gas tank's going to be even worse. I'm telling you guys, if she's not able to land these takedowns, her gas tank is just going to be worse, man. And she's going to be gasping for air. So I think it's early. It's very important. If Vivi stuffs these takedowns or even gets a takedown herself, she pushes the grappling. It's a smart move on her. If I'm Vivi, I'm pushing the grappling here against her and making her work, defending takedowns, make this girl work. And I think she gets tired. Her gas tank is not good. She doesn't know how to manage it, or it's just bad. Because Diane Barbo, it's not coincidence that the fight she went to round 3 against Lipsky, she looked like dog shit. in round 3. And against Diane Barbosa, she looked horrific in that fight, just laying on her back like, what am I going to do? And she lost that fight. Is that coincidence that the two fights that, for her that have gone decision, she looks like absolute shit in both of them? I don't think so. She doesn't have a good gas tank. It's pretty clear. Even in the Dana White's Contender Series fight, her gas tank looked awful, and she got a sub. So, yeah, man, I honestly think she is the parlay buster. I think she's gonna lose this fight, and then everybody's gonna come back down to earth on this chick because I don't understand why she's minus 300. I really don't. So yeah, let's move on here. Fight number 11. It is in the middleweight division. It is the 6-0 Bo Nickel versus 17-8-1 Paul Craig. Tim's favorite fight of the night, so we'll give it to him.
Yeah, I think Bo is going to push his shit in here. I think that's pretty much going to be whatever he wants to do.
Holy timeout. Hold on. I didn't even know this. She tore her meniscus in round 1. I did not know that. Against Silva? I had no idea. Then wait, how long ago was that then? This is starting to scare me now. That was in February. Oh yeah, she's fine now. Oh, is that why she pulled out of the Jasmine fight then? I'm assuming. Moy's throwing some nice stuff out here. That's good to know. She fought with a torn meniscus. She's tough, man. Our usual's tough. All right, go ahead, Tim. Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, no worries. Yeah, back to the pushing of shit in here. I think that Bo is going to do whatever he wants to Paul Krieg. I just, it's flip a coin basically. Do you think he's going to KO him or do you think he's going to sub him? And the KO line is way too juiced. So I actually think like I might be on an island here, but like I don't think that Paul Craig's jiu-jitsu is like as phenomenal as everybody thinks. Like I really don't. Like he's got you're muted. Sorry, I didn't know if you were talking or not to me. So yeah, I don't think that Paul Craig's jiu-jitsu is like as good as people are saying. Like he's got 2 moves that he catches people with, and they're from guard, and he's elite at those 2 moves. But defensively, he's pretty void in grappling, and he allows people to pass to different positions. If he doesn't have you in his guard, he has fucking no idea what to do. He gives up his back in trying to get up when he does try to get up. Like he makes a bunch of mistakes when he's defensively grappling. So, and I don't think that he's like super elite even when he's on top, which he rarely is. So yeah, I think that actually like pure jiu-jitsu, I think that Bo has better jiu-jitsu minus a triangle from bottom and an arm bar. Like I don't think like I don't think that Bo's probably used to being on his back in situations, so he's probably worse at those 2 moves. But beyond that, I think he's got significantly better jiu-jitsu, better wrestling, better striking. So yeah, give me Nickel by sub. Sub 2 is plus 900. Sub 3 is plus 1900. Sub is alone is plus 210. So I hope he takes him down and shows him that he's much better on the ground than him and says mine is bigger than yours.
Yeah, I don't know what to bet here, honestly. I didn't like much. I threw a sprinkle on Nickel KO 2-3 plus 300. I just thought maybe early Craig can hold him in guard if he gets taken down, and after eventually just wearing on Craig on top, I think 2-3 he might find some openings to land some big ground and pound, and I kind of feel like if he gets to like mount, maybe he tries like those 12-6 elbows and just absolutely smashes him. So I do think he can pass Paul Craig's guard, and because he's just so heavy on top, and I think he can actually work him on the feet. I don't think it's a blowout on the feet, honestly. Even though Paul Craig is not great, I don't think Bo Nickel is great on the feet either. To be honest, like he's just not. It's not very technical. Doesn't have a lot of experience striking at all. He's not really. I know he knocked out Val Woodburn, but Woodburn has like like no defense. He's smaller. Um, I don't really know what to make of that. On the feet against um Brundage, he didn't look comfortable. I'll tell you that. Bo Nickel did not look comfortable on the feet there. So, um, yeah, I mean, I'll take 2-3 KO here. I think it's ground and pound if it happens. It's plus 300. There's not much to add here. Like Paul Craig submission off of guard, maybe, but I don't see it. Not against a strong top heavy pressure guy like Nickel. It's not going to be easy to get him in a triangle or something. It's just not. He's just so strong, so heavy on top. It's going to be very hard. Moving on, fight number 12. It is in the lightweight division. It is the co-main event of the night. Five-round fight, just so everybody knows. It's the 34-10 Charles Oliveira versus the 23-8 Michael Chandler in a rematch. I mean, I bet already. I gave it to my Discord. I told him to bet Chandler KO1 is 11-1. If you look at him historically, he just carries a lot of power early. He hurt Oliveira last time out early. His KO 1-2 is plus 650. I still think he can do it in round two. It's not like his power completely gone in round two. I think that's a bit safer. You know, I think Oliveira wins this fight. I just think a lot of the equity here is 1-2 on Chandler. I think there's a lot of violence in this fight. Oliveira, the one thing he does now is he's smarter. When he gets hurt, he just kind of flops to his back, invites people in his guard to recover, mainly to recover. And Oliveira has been doing this of late. He's not the old Oliveira. He's a little bit wiser. He does things where, the minute he knows he's hurt, he's going to just drop to his back, and he's going to say, okay, come into my guard. He did it in almost all those fights, even against Makhachev, I believe. Did he not get hurt on the feet against Makhachev?
Yeah, he got dropped, and then Makhachev
got dropped, and then. But the problem is Makhachev is an absolute monster on top, right? Like he's gonna pass, he's gonna get submissions, he's very good. That's not really what Chandler is. I don't think Chandler is subbing this guy. So yeah, I mean 1-2 KO is how I'm seeing it. But if it kind of prolongs, it's gonna be Oliveira, in my opinion. I think he's going to find a finish later if this fight goes. I mean, it could be round one, too. Don't get me wrong. This is a violence fight for me. Under 2.5 looks like a good play, even though it's juiced. I don't see this fight going past, 12.5 minutes. I really don't. What do you have here, Tim?
Bronx. Got Bronx, my boy. I do not bet against Bronx. So, yeah, Bronx is my dude. Feel like no two fights are the same, obviously, but I just think that this is going to be a war. These guys are going to go at it. They're not going to be afraid to go toe to toe. I think the more technical striker is Bronx. I feel like both these guys have durability issues. I think Bronx round 2. Round 3, and then KO2, KO3, plus 430, plus 850 to cover the sub. I do think the sub is live here as well, obviously, for obvious reasons. And I mean, he had his back in the first fight too, and Chandler got out of it. But I feel like that if he gets that position again, I don't know if he makes the same mistake. So yeah, I like round 2 plus 430, round 3 plus 850, KO2 plus 1,000, KO3 plus 1,900 for Bronx.
Yeah, I think he wins this fight as well. I just took a sprinkle on those Chandler props. I do agree with you. I think Bronx wins. I just think he has way more tools than Michael Chandler. That's the thing. Like on the feet, way more tools. On the ground, better grappler, better submission grappler. Yeah, I mean, where is Chandler better outside of a big bonk? Like nowhere. He's not. He just doesn't have. He doesn't have enough striking tools, man. The guy just doesn't. He doesn't have enough tools on the feet, and Bronx has all types of tools on the feet. With that being said, before we move on to our main event, Tim, 701 live viewers. I appreciate you guys very, very much. It seems like Saturday mornings, Tim, we always get a lot more people. Always. Last time was over 1,000, I remember, a Saturday morning. So, yeah, appreciate you guys and girls. Thank you very, very much for being here on the Saturday morning. Also, if you want to join my Discord, link is down below. I posted it. Also, I am giving a 3-day free trial. If you go through my Twitter and scroll, I gave out a 3-day free trial for all my picks and my Discord. Check it out on my Twitter bio. It's somewhere there. I posted it. Not bio, sorry. Somewhere in my Twitter where I tweeted it. So, 3-day free trial. If you want to check out my Discord, it's incredible. Believe me when I tell you, yesterday we had a great day. We hit 2 huge dogs on Cage Warriors, hit the Jake Paul fight. We got screwed on Amanda Serrano pretty bad.
I got screwed. I got screwed on Barrios by
Barrios too. That was terrible.
Dude, that 35-1 was just absolute pain.
All right, let's move on. Main event of the night. It is in the heavyweight division. It is the 27-1 John Bones Jones versus the 20-4 Stipe Miocic. And Tim, this one is yours.
All right, so this is just a tough fight to determine what's going to happen. If you're going banked on these guys being not 37, up a weight class against his first actual challenge, because I don't think Cyril Gane was an actual challenge for him, obviously by the results. And you're going just based on these guys' historical performance levels. This fight should play out closer than the odds suggest, obviously. Stipe is 42 and hasn't fought in 2 years. Last time he fought, he got absolutely nuked. It's hard. He looked like glacially slow in that fight as well. So it's hard to get to, a Stipe bet for me, even though the line is what I think is wide. But I'm going to go with Jones by decision at plus 430. Maybe the tiniest ittiest bittiest sprinkle on split plus 1,400. I don't think it's going to be a split, but maybe take a shot at it. But I think Jones by decision isn't bad at plus 430. It's basically, can Stipe stuff takedowns for 5 rounds, and does his wrestling still hold up? And is he just completely washed chin wise? Is he completely washed durability wise? Because I love just how many finishes does John Jones have in his last 10 fights? He's got 3 finishes, and he fought OSP. He fought Anthony Smith. He fought Thiago Santos, who tore both of his knees in the fight that he was fighting him, and didn't finish any one of those guys. So he historically doesn't have huge power in his hands. He's more going to damage you with step in elbows and kicks and knees and shit. And if he gets on top of you, you're fucked. So his finishes are coming from those situations, not just pure striking with guys. So I feel the Alex Gustafsson, the Dom Reyes guys, if you're giving me up a weight class Stipe Miocic at 80% of what he normally is, I think 80% Stipe massacres those fighters. I feel it's just that's the way I think that the fight could be a little bit closer. So give me Jones by decision, Jones by split.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, it's a fight where, it depends where you think one guy is, where the other guy is. Obviously, Stipe, it's one of the best heavyweights of all time. Let's not get that twisted. But the guy is been out for so damn long. We're talking about 4-year layoff. We're talking about it's actually 3.5. We're talking about a guy coming back to the cage at 42. A guy that's has a full-time job as a firefighter, a guy that's talking about how he has worked long shifts just recently. If you look through his IG, you see a guy that really hasn't trained much in the last 3.5 years. He's just not training. He's working. He wasn't really preparing for any type of fights during that time. And the one thing is, like, yeah, John Jones hasn't been that active either, but the guy's still kind of going in the gym. He's working with other people. This is at the end of the day, this is John Jones's life, right? MMA. That's not really Stipe's life anymore, bro. He's a firefighter. He's a family man. It's completely different. The guys are on different spectrums. Yes, John Jones is older. Yes, he's probably not in his prime. I agree with that. But he's still kind of in the gym with people. You still see him working a lot on his IG. The other guy he's a firefighter, man. He's got a different life. And I just don't think he's all in. I think he's here for one last paycheck, Tim. I really do. I think Stipe, he looked in good shape. Don't get me wrong. But I just think he's here for one last paycheck. And this is it. Win or lose, he's leaving. I believe he's retiring after this fight. I kind of feel like early, Stipe, when he's fresh, he's going to be fine. But I think Jones takes over later, man. I honestly think Jones, like 2-3-4 KO. I think it's like 3:30. I think it's going to be a knockout. I don't think it's going to be a sub. Stipe, pretty smart defending subs. I think he knows what he's doing. I think it's going to be a Jones, maybe ground and pound. Imagine it's Jones by 12-6 elbows, dude. Finished. Wouldn't that be crazy? After they just introduced him back, that's his only loss. 12-6 elbow. He got disqualified. Imagine he does 12-6 elbow and finishes the fight. That would be fucking hysterical. But I will call that, by the way. It's Jones KO 2-3-4 by 12-6 elbows. So yeah, I mean, it's 3:30. It's not the best price, but I think I'm fading the round one, and then I think it's a little bit later here. All right, Tim, all 12 fights. Appreciate everybody in here. 720 of you in here. Smash the like, please. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't. Also, if you want to join my Dub Club, my Discord, I posted it on Twitter. Use that 3-day free trial. You don't have to pay for anything. 3 free days. Get in there. See what I do in the Discord. If you don't like it, don't sign up. But we make money in there. We're going to have a live spaces in there for betting today. There should be a lot of betting spots today. Hopefully there is. With that being said, Tim, Lambo parlays, because otherwise fucking Mushroom will not stop. Lambo parlays. He's not stopping, so we got to give it to him. Tim, what's your Lambo parlay, man?
I've got what could go wrong when you have Mickey Gall in it. I did 2 variations. I did Mickey Gall points, Dubronk's KO, John Jones points plus 5,300, and then I switched Dubronk's to sub, and it's 30 plus 3,900.
All right, I got 2 of them as well. I'm gonna go with Jones 2-3-4 KO plus 330, Gall decision, and McGee decision 47-1. And then my second one is the sneaky one. It's Onama sub, Roofy sub. It's like 58-1. And if you want to get really crazy, you go Roofy sub 2-3, Onama sub 2-3, and you go like 200-1. I think that's sneaky. I don't know if it's gonna hit, but Onama sub 2-3, Roofy sub 2-3. Actually, I'll tell you the exact numbers now. It's a little less than. Actually, it is 200-1. Let me see real quick. Yeah, 224 exact. 224-1, Tim. Sub 2-3, sub 2-3. Best of luck to everybody today. Hopefully you guys crush this card, make a lot of money. There's a good boxing card actually right now. I'm going to go on my Discord, and we're going to try to live bet some of these boxing fights. There's some really good boxing fights right now, Riyadh season. Good luck to everybody, and let's cash those tickets for UFC 309.